make our way down onto our backs. You start to feel already how your body's doing. So let yourself take a few really good deep breaths. It's allowing our lungs to fill to their capacity. Maybe they haven't been full all day so far. So taking this as an opportunity to be with this beautiful body that we have. We always take a moment for an intention. So before we head into our intention, I'd like to have us place one hand on our heart and one hand on our belly. And just feel how calming it is to have the hands in this placement. As we travel through our class today, there's going to be multiple points in which you're either placing your hands like this, one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly, or we'll have our hands together in front of our heart like a prayer position. So anytime we find our hands together in front of our heart like this, like we're doing currently, or in the prayer position, we're going to let ourselves think of a gratitude. And so as our hands are already here, let's think of our first gratitude today. There'll be plenty, so don't feel like you have to, think about them too much. Each time, just think of the first one that comes to your mind. You can even be thankful for silly things like socks and cars and things like that. So just think of whatever your first gratitude is. Heading into this week, we're expressing so much more gratitude than perhaps we normally allow to pass through our mind. And so this will be a perfect opportunity to kind of kick off that week for us. And so imagine, what if doctors, instead of prescribing so many medicines, what if sometimes they took a moment to prescribe gratitude? Just think of how much better we might feel, how much more light and how much more, happy with what we have we might feel. So this will be the idea that leads us into our class, lots and lots of gratitude. And so with this idea to lead us on, let's begin with our first stretch, bringing the arms up over the head. I always get my water over at least once. But yeah, stretch your arms up overhead, and then we're going to take the shape of a banana. So take your right ankle over your left ankle, and then scoot your legs off the right edge of the mat. Or off the left edge of the mat if you're doing the right ankle over. And then you're grabbing onto your right wrist and scooting your shoulders off that left edge of the mat. So it's like a huge banana shape, everything going over to the left. And imagine as we travel through the poses today, all that we're doing is opening up more and more space so that we can fill it with gratitude, with good senses of, just how awesome our life is. Let's take another huge breath here. And exhale. Let's release the clasp of the ankle, the clasp of the hands. Then we start to switch sides. So now it's left ankle over right and legs scoot off the mat on that right side. Up overhead, grab onto the left wrist and scoot the shoulders off that right side. The huge banana shape, everything to the right. And feel all the space that wants to open up. Can you try to breathe into that area? So here, let's take another great inhale. Exhale as we release. Our spine is brought back to the center of the mat. And then our knees come into the chest. We'll place a hand on each knee. Let yourself do a few nice little hip circles. Just tuning into the low back. Is there any space that we can begin to dive into in that area of our body through our class today? So from here, release the left leg. It rests all the way long down to the ground. With hands around this right knee, let's take a slow cycle, a few rounds where we let this right knee open wide to the right. And then we cross it over the body toward that left side. It doesn't have to be a full twist, but starting to create more and more space through the hip joint and all the way down to the low back. So perhaps one more time wide, and then when we head into the twist, just stay. Try to keep the right shoulder on the ground, right arm reaching up to the right. See if you can gaze over those fingers. And as you breathe into the belly, notice how the breath affects the posture. Take another good breath in. Exhale, the hip returns to the ground. Give the right leg a chance to stretch all the way up to the sky. You can grab on wherever it's comfortable, behind thigh, behind calf. And this can be with stillness or it can be with movement. It's all your choice. Good. Releasing the hands. This leg gets to drop all the way down, resting on the ground, and then the left knee comes in. Give it a hug, and then start to pass the knee all the way open to the left, and then crossing over the body toward the right. Just like before, we're taking a few good rounds. Don't feel like you have to rush it. Good. The next time we're heading to the twist, just settle into that shape and allow it to stay. Just enjoying what wants to be opened. Perhaps try to gaze over the left fingers this time. Good, and start to return the hips down to the ground. Once we're there, the leg reaches up to the sky. You can choose how deeply you're pulling it in. Continue to walk the hands up a bit higher, trying to pull the forehead in toward the knee. Second leg hovers above the ground. And what we're going to do here is a few straight leg switches. Make this a little bit about the core, but it's mostly about this top leg getting pulled in really long. So don't feel any need to necessarily rush. It's a really good stretch up there at the top, and then that release using the core. I like to do an exhale each time I'm pulling it into that tight spot. Take 2 more each leg. Beautiful. And then take the hands behind the back of the knee. Let's do a few rounds rolling like a ball. Try to balance and boat. And then rocking back. Maybe just 2 or 3 more. Good. And for this next time you're up in the boat pose, we're going to stay. See if you can bring your hands to your heart. So that means we have to think of another gratitude. If your feet ever need to touch the ground instead, that's a way to make it easier. Okay, so with our gratitude, we're going to try to twist, touching the left elbow to the right thigh, and then twist the other direction. It's not necessarily a speedy thing, but it's a good kind of twist and control to hold. So 2 more each side. Good, and then you can just slide your feet into cobbler's pose. The spine can just relax up and over. See if there's any way you can relax into some of the spots that might not be expected here. So maybe the head is dropping down, and is there any upper back tightness that we can just give over to gravity? But take a moment to roll up so that you can open the right leg out wide. Once you're there, relax back forward. Then gently rise up so we can switch the legs out once again. Okay, good work. As we rise up, let's head into cat-cow. So dropping the knees underneath us. I like to move with the breath in this way. When I'm bringing the spine up to the sky is when I take the exhale, it kind of naturally squeezes the air out. And then when the belly drops down and I gaze up, that's that gentle inhale. Taking it back and forth just at the speed of your own breath. I found that many back bends tend to be most helpful with the inhale because the breath, the inhale takes almost like an airbag effect where it helps protect our spine from crunching the lumbar vertebrae too much together. We'll take one more round up and down. Good. And then as the spine goes back to neutral, we'll take a little spinal twist. You'll notice lots of twisting and some gentle back bending throughout our class today. And so reach this right arm up to the sky. This is one twist already, so kind of enjoy what the spine is doing, opening up. And then as we rotate that right shoulder to try to rest onto the ground, notice how the twist is still there, but it's in a passive way now. So try to breathe into that spot. Left hand can stay, it can stretch forward, or it can wrap around the low back. So if the left hand moved, bring it in front of the face again. Press into it. And once we've got both hands underneath us, take another cat and a cow. Good. Spine to neutral. Second side, left arm reaches up. Just pause for a moment, feeling this version of twisting open. And then thread that shoulder all the way down. This time it's right hand. Maybe the right hand stays, maybe it goes forward, or maybe it goes around that low back. Take another good inhale. Exhale, release. We press into the right hand. At neutral again, cat. And cow. And then spine to neutral, we'll head to downward facing dog. Usually I walk the hands forward just a little bit. Tuck the toes. And just feel how the legs are for this first one. Hips lifting high. Maybe the legs want to pedal out just a little bit, so feel free to have motion or stillness. Just feel what's going on with your body at this moment. If the next thing feels unstable in your body or your wrist, you don't have to do it. What we're going to try to do is take the left hand to the outer right calf. This will wind us under for a twist, so try to keep on bringing your head under that armpit. You can walk your hands forward. Yeah. Okay. And then let's try to switch sides, so left hand down, and then it's right hand that tries to grab. Good. As we return this hand down, let's gently walk our way up to the top of the mat. When the hands have released, just let your spine dangle. Take another full inhale and an exhale. Inhale to rise. Good, and as the hands are at our heart again, take another moment for gratitude. Heading to a balanced pose from here, our right foot tries to come up onto that left thigh like a figure 4. The standing leg starts to bend. Our hands drop down, maybe just resting on that knee and the ankle. If you can continue to travel deeper, perhaps we're sliding our elbows to rest on those 2 spots instead. Or sometimes there's people who can even drop fingers to the ground. Standing leg is still absolutely welcome to just stay bent. It's like it creates a little shelf for the foot. See how much you can relax the hip and the knee open? It's not forceful, but it's also not the muscles trying to resist it. It's trying to go into the stretch. So another full breath cycle. And then we drop this right foot, crossing in front of the left foot. So once we're there, just let the spine relax back down into that released forward fold. I love this one for the back leg, that left leg. It gets just a bit into the IT band area. We're going to work our way up to standing. Some people uncross the feet first for balance. Other people try to roll their spine up, and then once they're up, they uncross their feet. So your choice. Up at the top, circle the arms up. And then join the hands together in front of the heart. Think of another gratitude. Okay, when you have that solidly in your mind, the second ankle comes up, the left one up to the right thigh. Check with your balance. Sometimes at home we just have to be by a wall, that's okay. So maybe the hands can drop down. Maybe we continue to slide to the elbows, or even hands to the floor. Try to allow the hip to relax open. One more breath cycle. And finishing up the exhale, we drop this foot to cross in front, and we're in that forward fold. Your choice to uncross the feet now or later. Either way, we roll our spine up. We end up standing and circle the arms to reach up high. Hands together in front of heart. Take a moment to pause with a gratitude. Beautiful. So from here, we're going to reach our arms up to the sky. Feel a slight back bend. Exhale, forward fold, dropping all the way down. Inhale, half lift, long spine. Exhale, as hands drop down, make them flat on the floor. Knees can even be bent if you need to. We step back to plank. Holding plank for 3, 2, 1, and then just lift up to downward facing dog. From here, float the right leg and clear up to the sky. Reach it high. Take that right knee to the nose, but then try to twist the knee to touch the left elbow. Once you're there, unwind. Bring that right leg clear back up to the sky. And the second time, step the right foot in between hands. Drop the back knee gently down to the ground. And hands are going to try to walk up to the right thigh as the hips are still sinking forward. Heading to a twist here. The left hand reaches up high. We try to hook that left elbow to the right thigh. And if the hands can come to prayer position, that's another chance where the hands are in front of the heart. So we think of another gratitude. Nice inhale. Exhale, gently unwind. Let the front leg straighten out a bit. Hands can drop down, getting that good stretch through the back side of the leg. Go ahead and start taking this leg back. Heading up to plank. 3, 2, 1. Up to down dog. Float the left leg up to the sky. Take the left knee to the nose and try to twist that knee to touch the right elbow. And then unwind, reach left leg up to sky. And step that left foot in between hands. Once we're there, back knee down. Hips are sinking forward. See if we can walk our hands up to the thigh. We're not backing off the least bit, we're going forward. So now right arm tries to reach up high. That sets our spine in a good tall place. And see if you can hook the right elbow. If the hands can come to prayer position, it's another chance for gratitude. Good, taking another inhale. Exhale, gentle unwind, the leg straightens out, drop the hands down, just resting. Taking this leg back, heading to plank. No, you can always drop to kneeling plank if you need. 3, 2, 1. Either go straight to the down dog, or if you want to add a chaturanga, try to lower to the ground. Take a little back bend. And downward facing dog. Think of every knuckle, every joint of your finger pressing equally into the ground. That helps to alleviate pressure in the wrists by the whole hand pressing. Stay maybe another breath or two. Whenever you're ready to head to the forward fold, you're welcome to. Taking another good inhale. Exhale. Inhale to rise. Then hands at the heart, think of the gratitude. Stretching the arms up to the sky. Step the feet just a little bit wider. Grab onto the left wrist. Shift the hips to the left. And then continue to lean that arm to the right side. Keep that top arm in that long alignment as you drop the right hand to the right thigh. Continue to reach even further. And then gently rising up, this left hand continues to circle behind you, opening up through that shoulder joint. Good, and as it comes forward, circle the arms up to the sky, grab onto right wrist, right hip to the right, and then continue to lean the arm over to the left. Pull it really long, and then the hand drops down. See if you can continue to melt even deeper. More and more space through the body for gratitude. Good, rising up, that right arm circles behind. And coming forward, hands to the heart. Or stepping up to the top, think of a gratitude. Good. So the placement of the feet is right about hip distance apart. Keeping the hands right in front of your heart. Let's start to sit the hips back like we're going into a chair. Just double check the knees are not going past the toes. Hips go back instead. See if you can take your right elbow to hook onto the left thigh, setting up for a twist. Always know if that is too much, you can open up the arms, hooking the wrist instead. Gazing down a couple of inches in front of the left foot. Shift your weight into the left foot. And then when your right foot doesn't need its weight so much, start to slide it back to a lunge. Good. Rotate that right heel to the ground. Release from the twist. Stretch the arms up to the sky, warrior one. Clasping the hands behind the back. Try to pull the arms behind you into a nice shoulder open. Dropping the hands to the inside of the front foot. You're going to rotate onto the back heel, dropping into a low squat if possible. If that's too much for the knees, just keep the hands down and you're at the high squat instead. Good, straightening both legs, turn all the toes to the long edge of the mat, nice forward fold. Bend the knees, bring the hands to the hips, roll the spine upright. Turn the front toes forward again, bending the front knee to warrior two. Extended side angle, front elbow rests down, the top arm stretches forward. We're going to reverse that warrior. So now back hand to back leg. And then the top hand stretches up and back. Keep the front knee bent. Good. Back up to warrior two. And then shorten the stance to warrior one. Taking the hands together in front of the heart. Think of another gratitude. And then with hands at the heart, we take a warrior 3. So our weight is gonna start shifting onto that front left leg. The back leg starts to float. Maybe it's a lower angle, maybe it's 90 degrees. Just find that place where you can balance. Good, as torso floats up, this right knee is gonna bend and float to the space in front of you. And then take that right ankle to the left side. We're gonna sink down just like we did before, maybe to hands, maybe to elbows, maybe to floor. Another good inhale. Exhale, drop the feet to the cross. Just taking a good inhale. And exhale. Uncross the feet now or later. Either way, rise up. Once we're up, uncross, reach up. And hands at the heart, gratitude. Good, so that gratitude heads us to the second side. Start to sit the hips back like you're going into a chair. This time it's the left elbow that sits to the right side. Gazing down to the ground a couple of inches in front of right foot. Take more of your weight into right foot until left can slide back. As that back heel rotates down, release the arms up to warrior 1. Clasping the hands behind the back, pull into the shoulder stretch. And dropping the hands to the inside of the front foot, go to the low squat. Good, straightening both legs, turn the toes forward, wide angle forward fold. Bending the knees, hands to hips, roll the spine up. Your front foot turns forward, that left leg. Bend that knee, open the arms, warrior 2. Extended side angle, front elbow down, the other arm stretches. Up to warrior 2. Keep the front knee bent as you head to the reverse warrior. Back hand to back leg. Good. And then rising up, shorten the stance to a warrior 1, facing forward. Hands joined together in front of the heart. Think of a gratitude. Heading onto that front leg for warrior 3. Start to transition your weight to the right side until you can float the back leg. Any angle is fine. Good, that knee floats up in front of us. Hook the ankle and start to bend the standing leg. Maybe hands to the knee, hands to the ankle. Maybe lowering to elbows, or maybe fingers to floor. Dropping that foot in front of the other. Just a couple of breaths here, dangling down. And then uncross now or later, round the spine up. Circle up to the sky. And hands together in front of the heart. Think of a gratitude. Good. This next pose is a little bit of a challenge. So if you have any struggles at all, just return to the forward fold that we're going to start at now. So start to drop your hands down, drop the head down, round the full spine into a forward fold. So again, this is where you're welcome to just stay, nothing wrong with that. If you're going to the challenge, walk the feet closer so that the inner thighs are able to squeeze together. And then we're going to go into a toe squat. So we start to sit the hips down toward the heels, and we're kind of floating here. The key really is going to be keeping the inner thighs squeezed together because that's where the balance comes from. So start to walk your left fingers to the space behind you as you reach the right arm up to the sky. And then hook that right elbow to the left thigh, setting up for a twist. Just sitting like this is perfectly fine. Or maybe both hands keep the inner thigh squeezing together. Think of a gratitude. Good. Unwind, take a little break with the legs, go into a forward fold. Maybe even try to rock forward, lifting the heels up a little bit. And then try to rock backward, lifting the toes up a little bit. A couple of rounds of that. Good. Feet back to stillness if you did that. And then if you're going to a second side, start to lower to that squat again. Inner thighs already squeezing together. The right hand walks to the space behind you. Left hand reaches up high. And then left elbow hooks up to the twist. If you can take this right hand off the ground, we go to prayer position. Hands are at the heart, so think of a gratitude. One more inhale. Exhale, unwind, forward fold once again. Good. Half lift, long spine. Exhale, forward fold. Walk the feet back to plank or kneeling plank. Holding in the plank for 3, 2, 1, and then shift down to the ground, chaturanga. Taking a shoulder opener, our right arm is going to take a 90-degree angle off to that right side. Our right cheek is down. And then we press into the left hand until the right shoulder is getting a good opener. Doesn't have to be too much. Just enough that the pec and the shoulder, the deltoid area are just fine. Good, returning the hips down. We'll switch sides. So now it's left elbow out, left cheek down, and we press into the right hand. Good, returning back down to the belly. The placement of the hands goes a bit wider than normal, even off the mat. And I like to even come up to tented fingertips. And so one time in this spot, I press up to kind of like a half cobra. And then I rotate my right shoulder forward and lower that right shoulder down just a couple of inches. Good, press back up to the mini cobra. And then rotate left shoulder forward and drop it down. Beautiful. Coming back to the center, bring the hands back into the cobra placement. Go as deep of a back bend as you wish here. Doesn't have to be super far. Good. And then heading back for a moment with a wide knee, child's pose. Knees are about as wide as the mat. Arms stretch forward. And then heading to another shoulder stretch. Keep the left arm where it is. The right shoulder threads under that left armpit space. Good. Unwind this arm. Set it up to the second side. Good, and when we unwind from this side, we'll take a moment to head up to downward facing dog. The right leg can float super high. Leg straight or bent, your choice. Try to open the hip. And then this right leg is going to be sent under and through into pigeon pose. So remember the back leg scoots as far back as possible. Once you're set up, we can drop down to elbows. If you liked what we did with shoulders a moment ago, you're welcome to bring the hands to that tented shape and kind of play with the shoulders a little bit. Rotate one shoulder, maybe pause for a couple of breaths, and eventually switch it out. Just imagine any space that we're able to create is space for gratitude, for love, for appreciation. Okay, starting to come up onto the hands, tuck the back toes. We're up to downward facing dog. Take any recovery movements that your hips and your spine need. Whenever you're ready for left side, you'll start to float that left leg. Maybe take a moment to pause, rotating the hip open. And whenever you're ready, send that left leg under and through to pigeon. You're absolutely welcome to go to sleeping pigeon. If you wanted to play with the shoulders for a moment again to each side, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, planting the hands. Our last downward facing dog of the day. Give yourself some freedom for any movements your hips and your spine and your legs need. Good. Whenever that feels pretty good, we're going to drop down to our knees. We're sitting on our feet if that's comfortable for your body. If not, you can go up to a higher kneeling position instead. This is just going to be a gentle back bend, so take the hands to clasp behind the head. And then lifting the spine up tall, begin to open the elbows wide as the heart is brought forward. It's not anything drastic, but it's enough that you feel that part of the body opening. Feel the front of the ribs stretching wide. Just 2 more good breaths. Good. When hands drop down to the ground, we're coming to a comfortable seated place. And before we head into Shavasana, we're going to do a speed round of gratitude. So this goes like this. Inhale up to the sky. Exhale to the hands to the heart. Think of a gratitude. Inhale, circle up to the sky. Exhale, twist to your right side. Inhale, arms up to sky. Exhale to heart, gratitude. Inhale to sky. Exhale, twist left. Inhale to sky. Exhale to heart, gratitude. Let's take 1 more twist each side. Inhale up. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, sky. Hands to heart, gratitude. Inhale, sky. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, sky. Exhale, hands to heart, gratitude. Good. So now as we start to head down onto our backs, know that you have permission to do any other little twists and stretches that your body might need until it's comfortable to be in a Shavasana pose, whatever position our legs should be in today. When you are ready for Shavasana sooner or later, perhaps one hand rests on the heart and one hand on the belly. And when you get to this placement, no rush if you're still moving around, but when you're here, think of the biggest possible gratitude that could ever cross your mind in this moment. And just notice how your body chemistry changes by letting that thought be what's on the forefront of the mind. Notice how you just become happier. It's almost like you can't help but just smile when thinking of that memory or that person, place, or thing. And so this is a huge part of the reason why we do gratitude, because you just feel good inside. So just continuing to let that thought and that smile be in your body and in your mind. We're going to be here for a few more minutes for our Shavasana. So just let yourself breathe and be so full of that gratitude. So here we begin to deepen our inhales and our exhales. Little movements introduced back to the body. Gradually stretching out in a way that feels good. Perhaps a fetal position or perhaps coming directly up. Take your time, no rush. Just feel connected with this beautiful breath that we have in any given moment. At some point sooner or later, we'll be sitting up, our hands together, joined in front of the heart. Perhaps a new last gratitude, or perhaps that same powerful one of Shavasana. And we remember how healthy it is to be grateful, how much better it feels, much less stressful, much more just realizing how awesome our life is. And so with this prescription for this week, to find a bit more gratitude than perhaps you normally do, with that idea to lead us on, let's wrap up the time we got to share together today with a sound of Om. Deep inhale now. May we be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste.